Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you had a great week. Today is August 26, 2022, and this is your Friday Planning Update. Today's video will be an update on a topic that finally has come to a head this week, student loans. Next week, we'll jump back into a few other major retirement planning ideas, but I want to get this information to you as soon as possible. As we've discussed here, the student loan payments have been frozen since March of 2020, and one of the biggest campaign promises made by Biden was the loan forgiveness, and here it is. This is not, I repeat, it is not a political video. I wanted to give all of you some of the facts and details so that you can use. If you have strong political opinions on this, I will not feed them either way. I might recommend you turn this video off at this time if that's the case. Sorry, I'm just here to help, not make waves in politics. Give me the rules of the game, and I'll do what I can to help you all win. The announcement this week, $10,000 of student loan debt will be forgiven for millions of Americans. So, as the news is getting more and more clear, please note, this video is not a definitive explanation. If you have loans, please keep an eye out for information from your lender. We know that Americans hold close to $1.75 trillion in student loan debt. Much of it is with the U.S. government. There is a three-part plan that was announced from the White House this week. One additional resource will be the White House website. I do recommend that you be careful in getting your information from other news sources. We know that the fair and balanced these days is pretty elusive. So as we know, news reports are often more translation than they are news. Beware for that. So from the White House, a few important facts. The freeze in federal loan repayments, as I noted a moment ago, is being extended one last time, as they say, until December 31st, 2022. This is to make the transition that we'll talk about in a moment go smoothly. You should plan to resume payments in January of 2023. The Department of Education will provide up to $20,000 in debt cancellation. Now, this one's the confusing headline. $20,000 is for those who also have a Pell Grant. If you're not a Pell Grant recipient, the debt cancellation is $10,000. To be eligible for this relief, your individual income must be less than $125,000 and $250,000 for married couples. How to proceed is still in development. According to the White House release, the Department of Education will be working to quickly roll out a simple application process. It's not quite out yet. The application has been promised to be available no later than when the pause in the repayments terminates at the end of this year. It's estimated that nearly 8 million borrowers will be able to get this relief automatically, since much of their information, especially the income information, is with the government system, is in the government system already. This is a key point. Due to the American Rescue Plan, this debt relief will not be treated as taxable income for federal income tax purposes. As you know, I don't give personal tax advice, but please consult your tax advisor if this applies to you. The second major part of this three-part plan is to reform the current system and make it work better. A simpler plan for income-based repayment has been promised. The current system does allow for cancellation of the debt after 20 years of repayment, but the complexities have kept it from being a success for most eligible Americans. This will be addressed by the Department of Education. Details of this are still coming out, but the income-based payment plan will cut in half the percentage of discretionary income that should be used for monthly repayment from 10% to 5%. Big deal. This is a big deal. The level used to determine if no payment is required is being raised to bring more people into that group that, due to their income levels, will not be required to make any repayments. 10-year loan forgiveness as well, not 20-year loan forgiveness. And if your income level drives a loan repayment that does not cover the interest payments, your loan amount will not increase. So the government will be covering any additional interest expense. That simply means that, unlike credit cards or other debt, if you make the minimum payments, your loan balance is not going to go up. The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program is also being revamped, and it will be easier to get credit for service that you've done. Details on this are also still being worked out. The third leg of the stool is really the biggest one for many, and without making a political statement, which I'm not doing by making this video, this will be the most difficult. The Department of Education is launching an effort to hold accountable the educational institutions and the increases in their tuition. There's a lot of work being done here, but it is truly beyond the scope of this video to go into this. I've been saying for as long as I've been doing this, close to 30 years, that the way education and education funding will be handled is something that will have to change. And we've seen a lot of change already. The pandemic actually brought some of those major changes in the overall opinions on the need for four-year degrees, vocational colleges, special programs. These are not on the White House list, but I do think you'll see this third rail of politics touched in coming years. So it's a big deal, regardless of where you stand on what it means for our economy and our country. Goldman Sachs just published a report that stated the GDP impact was going to be small, but as we've just discussed, the impact on many of these loan households may be huge. I recommend that you go to the Department of Education website, that's www.ed.gov, and sign up to get the official news from them as this plan gets more details. I'll do my best to keep you informed as well. I already work with many of you on the loans that you have, and as this has been a hot topic lately, we've added into the review the conversations about this in many cases. This is urgent. I cannot tell you how hard it is when I read that there are Americans on Social Security that are still paying student loans, theirs or their kids or their grandkids. So please make sure, if this is in your plan, that we talk about it. So keep listening out for more information on this, and once the dust settles, please make sure you take advantage of all that you can on it. Call me to discuss if you need some help on it. As always, let's add anything and everything that affects your finances to the review and the planning conversations. If it affects your money, we should discuss it. We can't solve it all at once, but it needs to be addressed and it needs to be planned for. Come back Monday for another Monday Market Update. Until then, have a great weekend.